What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is John. Today I have for you a big box good. That's right, today we're going to be taking a look at the Bella 4-slice toaster oven I picked up at Macy's for $22.49. Today we're going to be doing an unboxing and a first impressions. We're going to see the quality of this item. Like I said, at $22.49, this tends to be on the cheaper side of toaster ovens. We're going to see what accessories come with this toaster oven in the box. It does come with a baking sheet as well as a crumb tray, so we'll go over just exactly how easy it is to remove and assemble these products. And last but not least, we're going to see how easy this is to use. We're going to toast some toast. I do expect the toast to come out perfectly fine. It shouldn't be the toaster's job to toast good toast. It should be the job of the toaster or the toastee to set the toaster oven to the right setting. So we're going to see how easy this is to operate, because this does make it easy to toast regular toast. It does have a setting specific to that, but also, as you can see from the front of the box, you can take this toaster oven up to either broil or 450 degrees from what I understand. It might actually be 400 degrees, but without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this unboxing and first impressions to find out for ourselves just how easy this works, just how easy it is to assemble, and last but not least, the quality of this product. Let's go ahead and get into this unboxing and first impressions. So now that we've done the introduction to our 4-slice toaster oven by Bella, let's go ahead and take a look at the outside of the box. So in store, you can see if this toaster oven is right for you. Now, first and foremost, you'll notice it is a stainless steel finish, just like other toaster ovens. But what is different, I think, is the sizing here. Because it is $22.49, it will be just a tad smaller than other toaster ovens. This box itself is 2 feet deep by 2.5 feet wide, indicating a toaster oven smaller in size. But what's important here is that it does come with all of the same features or basic features you would find on other toaster ovens. For example, you can toast things up to 450 degrees in this toaster oven. You can fit a 9-inch pizza. You can select what shade of color or crispiness you want your toast to be or bagel to be in the morning. You can see that this goes up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. It does come with a dedicated baking sheet, a broiling rack, and a crumb tray. And because it is stainless steel, it should match any decor you may have in your kitchen. But like I said, because it is $22.49, it should be just a tad smaller than other toaster ovens, but hopefully not lacking in build quality. So now that we have the toaster oven out of the box, you can see I was pretty much accurate about the dimensions. In fact, I think the box is probably a little bit bigger, maybe 3 feet wide by 2.5 feet deep. But the dimensions of the toaster oven itself are roughly what I was saying earlier. It's 2.5 feet wide by about 2 feet deep. It can take up to a 9-inch diameter pizza. But what will differentiate, I think, this toaster oven from other more expensive toaster ovens is, first and foremost, the size of it. This is pretty compact. You could almost take this anywhere, to a hotel or maybe in an RV if you'd like. But the build quality will also be a differentiating factor. It does have a brushed stainless steel aluminum panel on the front and a black aluminum metal finish on top, or maybe this is steel, not quite sure. Either way, I think it does lack in safety features, which is why this is $22.49. Because as you can see, you do get a sticker on the top here warning you that this top part gets hot, leading me to believe that maybe even the bottom part gets hot as well. This aluminum panel here looks fine, but you can tell that it does have some issues. It doesn't fit perfectly. It's not as smooth or as contoured with the rest of the toaster oven. Not a big deal. It was only $22.49. What matters most is that this works. It is BPA free, so even though the build quality is a little bit left to be desired, and it is a little bit smaller, you shouldn't necessarily have to worry about this being manufactured or produced with carelessness, right? It should be safe enough to cook your food. But like I said earlier, I think what differentiates this toaster oven is maybe build quality and size. Like I did say, it is about 2.5 feet wide by 2 feet deep. This toaster oven is definitely on the smaller side. It is perfect, I would say, for my use case because I do have a smaller apartment. It is a 1-bedroom space. I have very little counter space. As you can see, I actually have this table here in my kitchen and I use it for a variety of things, for preparing food and for just eating at it. What is misleading is the toaster oven on the front of the box looked to be all stainless steel. Here, as you'll see, it's just a stainless steel facade. It's a brushed stainless look with black accents with black top and sides. It is all steel, no plastic here except for the knobs and the handles. You also get what maybe feels like a plexiglass or just basic glass opening. Speaking of the facade, what is misleading is they only show the front of the toaster oven on the front of the box, giving you the impression it is entirely stainless steel. In fact, you'll see that it's actually black on the top and sides. So even though you get the broiling rack and the baking sheet and a user manual in the box, what you don't get is a crumb tray, and that's because it's built in. And we'll talk about why I dislike having the crumb tray built in. From the front of the box, you could have assumed that this was entirely brushed stainless, but what's also misleading is it doesn't include a separate crumb tray. You do get a broiling rack and a baking pan separate in the box. You can see that they are packaged together, but no crumb tray, and that's because the crumb tray is built into the machine. Typically, with other toaster ovens, you can pull the crumb tray out from underneath the machine, making this really easy and convenient to clean. This, on the other hand, you have to flip the machine over on its back, unplug it from the wall, and then empty out the crumb tray. Unfortunately, the only 2 additional accessories you get in the box are a baking sheet and a broiling rack. Now that we've talked about what I dislike about this machine upon first impressions, what I like about this machine is how rudimentary it is. You get 2 dials on the front, one for temperature and one for the timer. This is good to see because instead of giving us simple options to either toast or bake or broil only, we can actually combine them. For example, you have to set the timer to the correct time and the temperature to the correct temperature to get the optimal toasting. But if you want, you can experiment. The only boundaries for cooking are the smaller size of the machine and the maximum temperature, which is 450 degrees. Now, before we start cooking, we have to quickly assemble this toaster oven, which shouldn't take any more than a minute. But one thing you'll notice is in the box, you get this broiling rack, and this must go in the toaster oven first before you can start cooking. Otherwise, you won't have any place inside the toaster oven to rest whatever it is that you're cooking. Now, you could put this broiling rack in upside down or right side up. I've already tried it. It doesn't matter. It won't make a difference. But in order to get the best possible experience and also to ensure that nothing is falling over the side of the broiling rack, you want it right side up. Nonetheless, you get one sizing option. You can, or actually 2 sizing options. You can actually put the broiling rack in this middle groove here. So in between these 2 grooves, that I think is probably the most secure option. But if you want, you can even put it on top of that groove and it won't make any bit of difference. And then you can actually insert the baking sheet, which is included. And you can see that you want the broiling rack right side up with the edges raised on either side to accommodate the baking sheet so that this is neither moving around or nothing is potentially falling off the side of it. Okay, so now that we've done the unboxing and first impressions, I've shown you around this toaster oven what I like about it, what I dislike about it. Mainly that some of the features are misleading. It does not come with a separate crumb tray like it says on the box, and it's also just a stainless steel facade. The rest of the machine is actually black metal and kind of ugly. Otherwise, it's a pretty small and affordable and efficient machine. One of the main selling points about any toaster oven is that it's more efficient than your regular oven. This can heat up drastically faster, like if you need to toast some toast in the morning quickly, or maybe toast a frozen waffle, for example, or a bagel, you can absolutely positively do that here. You can even come home and heat up leftover food inside this toaster oven, or even bake a frozen pizza. So super easy to turn on and heat things up in. Now, a couple of misleading things I said was that you could actually have the temperature on and whatever food inside cooking without the timer running, but in order to get the temperature on, you actually need to set the timer. So a little bit of a limitation there, but then again, I think for the types of items you'll be cooking in this, you won't need to have this on any longer than the 30 minutes that is allowed. Without further ado, there are a few questions I have about this toaster oven before we try our piece of toast, and I do plan on enjoying a piece of toast after this review video. One of the main selling points on the front of this box is that it's supposed to heat up quickly, but my question is, how quickly can it get cool again? How does it perform on a subpar cooking surface like this table here? Now, you should probably be using this toaster oven on a granite or marble countertop or some kind of stainless steel countertop, not a wooden countertop, especially one that is particle board and cheap like this one. So not sure how the heat will transfer to this table, but the good news here is it is raised off the table. You can see that. In order to operate this machine, you must have the timer on first and then set the temperature. For example, to toast some of our toast here, I do like my toast slightly crispy, but not soggy. You can see that the power light comes on and then you can set the temperature. So we've got the toast feature set to 450 degrees, and we've got the timer set to about a medium toast. Now, one of the selling points of this machine is how quickly it gets up to temperature. And right away, within the first 10 or 15 seconds of having this machine on, it is extremely hot to the touch. And the glass door is hot, and the top and sides of the machine are hot. Now, not sure how that's gonna correlate to this particle board table here, but we'll find out in the end. But one of the questions I have while this is still on and before we start toasting is, how quickly can this machine get cold again? Because after using this, you will want to clean it. And because in order to clean it, the machine needs to be cold and off, because you will need to flip this machine upside down. It is important that it cools off quickly. So we need to find out how quickly it cools off, how much heat is transferred to this wooden table, which is a subpar food cooking surface or food preparing surface. I would not recommend preparing foods on this surface. You need something probably marble, granite, stainless steel. We're gonna see how the toast comes out, and then I will give you a definite time as to how long you should wait for this machine to cool down. So now that we've got our toaster oven up and running, let's go ahead and get some of our delicious Wonder Bread in here. Now, I don't need to use the baking sheet to do this. All I have to do is just put the toast on the broiling rack here. As you can see, it toasts things pretty quickly. So I've got the temperature set to 450, obviously, but you'll notice that it actually, if you adjust it or set it to the darker colored toast or a crispier toast, it actually moves from the crispy to the soggy fairly quickly. So there isn't a whole lot of time between turning it on and getting your toast in. So you want to get it in right away. And as you can see, we're already making a mess, right? Now, not sure if this will cook the toast evenly. Sometimes when I cook frozen toast in the morning in the oven, I have to flip it. It looks like we get both a heater on the top and the bottom, which is good to see. So this is a frozen piece of toast. Now, that will undoubtedly affect how long it will take. It will probably mess this up. This is probably going off a thawed out piece of toast, but let's go ahead and see what the result is. Now, another thing you'll notice here is I do like my toast slightly toasted, right? I like it darker, I like it really crispy, but you'll also notice that there seems to be more time in between the off and what would be, I guess, just sort of a light
brown or golden brown colored piece of toast. So we'll see just how good the toast comes out between this darker colored piece and the off position, which when it does reach the off position, it will ding. So as you can see, what's awesome about having this look-through window is you can see just how cooked your toast is. Now, because you will be using this in different situations like myself, this toast was not thawed out. It was actually frozen when I put it in. So being able to see the outcome as it's cooking really is useful. It is just a little bit smaller and will require probably a little bit more finesse, but as you can see, well, okay, so there's already a couple of little issues, as you can see here, getting this working right. But the good news here is that toast came out phenomenally well. Now, let this be a good example, actually, because when I actually assembled this, as you might remember, I was demonstrating that this can work in this middle groove here or the top groove. But as you just saw, trying to get the toast out of the oven, it fell or slid off the broiling rack. And that's because I had the broiling rack on the top groove. You actually want the broiling rack in the middle groove, so if you need to pull this out, it doesn't flop or slide down. So that was a mistake on my part. Not really a big deal here, but you can see just how messy this is. And like I said, it does ding. And as you can also see, even though we are past either desired toast setting or color or crispiness, it is still cooking. So everything is still hot on the inside. The machine is hot. You can see the heat coils are bright orange on the inside, but the timer is still ticking. So in order to get it off, you just turn it off. And what's actually really nice is even though we still have the temperature set to toast to 450 degrees, it does have an auto off feature, because as you can see, the coils are no longer orange and it's no longer cooking. So if you accidentally leave this knob on, or maybe if you want to have this as a preset the night before, so that when you wake up, all you have to do is throw your toast in, no problem there. You don't have to worry about burning the house down. As soon as this machine is cool and we can clean the crumbs out, that is the definitive time this takes to cool down. But right now it's still pretty hot. I would not touch this machine. It's been off for roughly 30 seconds and it's still piping hot. So just be cognizant before you clean this machine out that first it's unplugged and that it's off. But before it gets completely cool and I can demonstrate how easy or difficult or cumbersome this will be to clean out, let's go ahead and try out our toast. Now, because the toast is part of the review, I will have to taste test it and give you my honest opinion. What I can tell you is this was frozen upon putting it inside the toaster oven, so it might be slightly more golden brown than dark, which I was going for a darker color, but like I said, if maybe this hadn't been pre-frozen, it probably would have come out slightly darker. But this is still an acceptable piece of toast. It's toasty all the way around. It's not really all that soft. It's actually kind of fluffy in the middle though, which is kind of good to see. And you actually get these really nice grate marks on it that definitely give it some texture and character. You could actually make a really presentable meal, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and try this out because it does look pretty good to eat. That's pretty amazing. Now, usually because my oven doesn't have a window to see through it, I actually have a hard time judging sometimes how long I should cook my toast for. And sometimes I overcook it and it does come out burnt and it does stink up my apartment a little bit. It's fine, I eat it, but this is perfect. I mean, there was no foul play here. My apartment doesn't stink like burnt toast. And it's actually deliciously fluffy in the middle and really enjoyable to eat, actually. Now, fortunately for us, because we tested this out, toasting a piece of toast, we had to set it to pretty much the highest temperature, which is 450 degrees. Not sure if bake or bagel broil is hotter than 450 degrees. So it took maybe 15, 20 seconds for this to get up to 450 degrees. Not long at all, but I can tell you right now, it's taking much longer than that. 4 or 5 times longer than how long it took to get it up to temperature to cool off. So I would probably give this 15 to 20 minutes to cool down. The front of the glass is extremely hot. Now, the good news here is these plastic handles actually do a great job of dissipating the heat, and so too do these knobs, but you can definitely feel the heat coming off the machine. The top of the machine is hot, but it is cooler than the glass on the front. So just be careful using this, removing things from the inside, and then we'll go ahead and clean this out. But it will take probably 10 to 15 minutes for this to cool down entirely. So one of my assumptions about this machine was correct. It's extremely cumbersome and potentially dangerous to clean. Like I was saying, this machine takes roughly 15 to 20 minutes to cool down from 450 degrees. It only takes about 15 seconds to heat up to that point. But the point of the matter here is if you want to clean this off just as fast as you started using it, you will have to wait because you need to flip the machine over in order to get to the crumb tray. As you can see, the design is extremely simple. Other toaster ovens, you would probably slide the crumb tray underneath the machine for the crumbs to collect. But here you have to tip the machine over on its back and then open this door. So in order to do that, the machine needs to be off. It needs to be completely cold in order for you to just maintain some semblance of safety doing this. And then you'll need to probably pitch this over the side of your kitchen sink to dump the crumbs out because this door is actually permanently attached, which again is kind of cumbersome. Had this just maybe slid out from underneath the machine, it would have been a little bit easier, I think, but hey, you get what you get, right? Anyways, guys, that has been an unboxing and first impressions of our Bella 4-slice toaster oven I picked up at Macy's for $22.49. We saw what came in the box, how easy this was to assemble, and we also talked about what I like about it and what I dislike about it. First and foremost, what I dislike about it is it's only stainless steel on the front, it's black on the top and on the side, so it really is uglier than what it looks like on the box, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but not a big deal. It also is a little bit cumbersome to clean because as you saw, the crumb tray is actually built into the toaster oven and not a separate piece like the broiling rack or baking sheet. But what I like about this toaster oven is if you live in a small apartment like myself, this is roughly 2.5 feet wide by 2 feet deep, and it is lightweight, so you can store it easily. And because it's small and lightweight, you can actually take this with you on vacation, like if you're renting a beach home or maybe you're taking this in an RV. This is a no-brainer at $22.49. Also, one thing I want to clarify that I said earlier was that this machine has no limitations for baking. That is not true. In order to set the temperature, you first have to set the timer, and the timer only runs for 30 minutes. So really, theoretically, you can only bake things for 30 minutes at a time at a maximum temperature of 450 degrees Fahrenheit. That being said, that should cover a wide variety of food items. Pretty much every type of food item you can cook in a toaster oven, whether that be a 9-inch pizza or maybe a small batch of cookies or brownies. This will get the job done. And I like the fact that you can actually set the desired toast setting for a piece of toast. And as you saw, it did a phenomenal job, did a perfect job actually of toasting our toast. So with that being said, for $22.49, I think this is pretty good. It's a little bit misleading here and there, but really a phenomenal toaster oven. Now, how this will last in the long run, that is unknown, but so far so good. I really do like this toaster oven. I think it's a great value and it does exactly what it's intended to do. So with that being said, I'm gonna go and close out this video. I really hope you enjoyed this unboxing and first impressions. If you wanna see more content like this, hit that like button, subscribe. Also hit the bell icon to get notified when I post to YouTube, and be sure to share this video with friends and family. Tell them we review things from big box retailers, brick and mortar stores, as well as online stores such as Amazon and other stores. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video. My name is John. Thank you so much again for tuning in. I will see you in the next one.